Mahalo everyone, and welcome back to the Jolly Scarecrows channel. We haven't posted in a while, and there's a couple of reasons for this. The main one being that I've moved house. So hopefully we're going to have a kind of better backdrop to do videos. Also, it's a better living environment for me, which is nice. The other reason concerns more about how we're doing decks on Master Duel. We were doing well, kind of uploading a lot, but it was very time consuming because we were having to make kind of lots of new accounts. The way Master Duel obviously works is you basically get one or two decks for free, and then beyond that, you either have to buy gems or make a whole new account and earn the gems back. So what we're instead going to do is kind of profile Master Duel decks using our original platform with Dueling Nexus, and then perhaps decks that we find interesting, we'll put them into Master Duel to see how they do. So yes, and we'll be doing some live streams maybe of those decks when we do them on Master Duel. What we have done is put this new feature below me where you can see how much the deck is going to cost in Master Duel, because we had some complaints before that we were posting these decks and people were like, whoa, these cost loads. And yeah, they do. The way Master Duel kind of operates is to kind of make some of those key cards ultra rares, and that means that decks like this kind of Roid-Speedroid combo deck are really expensive. So this is very much for the kind of purist in you. If you want to meme on your opponent by using Roid themed cards in Master Duel, then go ahead with this deck. Otherwise, this deck, other than obviously the Max C's, you'll have to kind of replace those maybe with some other kind of hand trap. Is perfectly fine for the regular trading card game. So the reason I've decided to use this deck is because we've had a lot of comments on both the Speedroid and the Roid deck videos that we've uploaded, and it was always my my plan to mash these two together. But before the update, the Speedroids were kind of nerfed. A lot of their good cards weren't in Master Duel, but now they are. So this deck essentially runs basically there's like you synchro up quite a lot, and your key card is things like this high speed Roid cork shooter. So you're going to try and get this out with either of its effects will work. The one you really want is the one that special summons back your synchro materials, and your ideal synchro material is this, the red-eyed dice, because that lets you turn another Speedroid on your field to any kind of level. And so from there you can either go into something like this Hagosha, which kind of special summons itself back, and between this as a synchro tuner and this as a 5-star, you have access to your level 8 in Kite Drake. And then you can also, if you want to change it to a different level, maybe a level 6, then you go into level 7, and then you can go straight into Baron de Fleur. So you can really get around a lot of different situations with the Speedroids, as I'm sure you've seen. They're very spammy, so you basically have monsters which either special summon themselves from the hand if you control the wind. So there'll be things like this Tokotenberg and this Car Turbo. And we're primarily running low numbers of these purely because you're able to search them fairly easily, and your main searching cards are the ones that we're running as many as we can. Things like the Speedroid Wheel, which lets you spun 2 straight from the deck, which is outrageous. This is the card that you want to go to if you happen to have Marble Machine and Red-Eyed Dice, because the effect of Cork Shooter or Cork Blaster only works when both synchro materials are gone to the graveyard, and when you synchro with Marble Machine, it goes to your extra deck. So that's something to bear in mind. And we're only running one Speedroid Spell or Trap, so if you've happened to have used, like, save using this, if you can, so that you're able to then search for it. So you're kind of probably thinking, how does this work in terms of Roids, the original GX ones? And really, the aim of the deck is to plow through as many kind of Speedroids as you can, and get a copy of Mixeroid into the graveyard. And you can often just normal summon this out, and that lets you special summon another Roid. Or you can send it to the graveyard through a whole host of other means. When this is in the grave, you can banish Roid monsters, of which the Speedroids all count, and summon out a Roid fusion. The one you're most often going to want to go for is this Parasite because you only need 4 other machines in the graveyard, and from there you can use Vicroid Connection Zone to fusion summon this and any of your monsters at all. It's a purish deck other than the hand traps, and that lets you bring out Mobile Base. Why should you go through all this effort to do this? Well, if you've used Vicroid Connection Zone, then it can't be destroyed by card effects, and its effects can't be negated. So, good start. Then, Mobile Base's effect is you can select a face-up monster your opponent controls and special summon any Roid from your deck or extra deck with less than that amount of attack. So you can sit there, bang. You could, in theory, bring out another copy of Mobile Base. We're only running 1, but that's to kind of keep the extra deck as nice and tight as we can. You can add another one in if you so choose. You could bring out whatever, Terratop to keep special summoning. You could bring out things like Kendama, straight from the extra deck. Kite Drake's effect only works when it's synchro summoned, so you kind of don't want that. I have done it once before, bringing out Clearwing Rider, which is pretty intense. But your opponent needs to have a pretty strong monster for that to happen. And so when you're in this situation with the Mobile Base, it can't be targeted. You can stick it with 5,000 defense in defense position. Pretty nicely done. You can also, its bump effect is rubbish, essentially. You can move it to another zone, and your monster will go back to your hand. Sometimes that can be alright if you want to reuse the effect. Say, you've got a Terratop on the field, you want to reuse it, normal summon it again as something, or if you've got Horse Stilts. There are ways you can use this card, but for the most part, I wouldn't bother. So, other key cards to mention. We're running 3 copies of Mega Roid City. So, Mega Roid City is essentially your way of searching your Vicroid Connection Zone. You have to destroy a card on the field to do so, and sometimes that can be beneficial in terms of if you want to get something in the grave, maybe like one of your face-up Roids or something, if you need to use the Mixeroid effect. The downside is that you have to go into your fusion cards. So you have to ignore the synchro element of the deck if you happen to land on Mega Roid City. But sometimes that can be okay. If you put yourself into a bad situation, maybe you're starting synchro end and your opponent negates it, you can be like, okay, fine, regroup, play Mega Roid City, destroy your whatever, Speedroid or synchro card, get Vicroid Connection Zone, and then from there go into your fusion setup. What else is there to mention? So, Speed Recovery obviously gives you that free special summon of a Speedroid, really good card, that's why we're running this in 3. Express Roid lets you recycle 2 back to your hand. That can be, incredibly useful, even in a regular Speedroid deck. And the other ones are just kind of little extenders, which enjoy being in the graveyard. So sometimes, you want to try and get as many of these into the grave as possible, is essentially the main premise of the deck. We've got a copy of Power Bond in here because you can get Parasite out if you've got 2 of the same machine type. And obviously they're all machines, so maybe you've got 2 Marble Machine, bang, you can go into Parasite, and then from there go into Vicroid Connection Zone, or this would be a 3,200 attack monster that can attack directly. That can win games off the bat. Armoroid is in here as a themed spell and trap destroyer. Again, maybe if you're running this in the TCG, you might want to replace, add in something like a Harpy's Feather Duster or whatnot in for Armoroid. I've got the side deck down here, and that's because you can replace out some of the components of consistency, either in terms of the hand traps or maybe one copy of Marble Machine, maybe a dice, and bring in this little engine. And it's not very consistent, but it means that you can conceivably play every single Roid fusion just through the side deck. We've tried it in terms of consistency. It's certainly not the best. So if you're playing full on meme, then you can add these components in. If you are, trying to somewhat win, if you're playing, I don't know, that it depends on your level of casual, right? We hear the term casual bounced around a lot, and it depends kind of what you're after. If you want to win using Ambulance Rescue Roid, by all means, the deck can cater for that. And if you want to win with, Crystal Clearwing, Synchro Dragon, and Baron to Flirt on your first turn, the deck can cater for that as well. I think that's enough ranting on from me. I hope you enjoy this deck video. We do have a similar deck already kind of set up on Master Duel, but we might feature some game through plays on Nexus, possibly on Master Duel as well, coming up in the near future. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you very soon for more deck videos here on the Jolly Scarecrows channel.